Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be talking about making your cuts during your run. And I'm not going to show you how to make your cuts. I'm not going to show you where you should make your cuts. None of that. I'm going to teach you a process so that you can learn how you like to make your cuts, because what everybody else says really doesn't matter. It's all about what you like. Now, the most important thing to remember when we're talking about cuts, we've got heads, we've got hearts, we've got tails. Nothing on this table is dangerous. We threw out the foreshots, so they're not even here, aside from the smearing that happens throughout the entire run anyway. So you can keep everything on the run if you want. It's not dangerous, it doesn't hurt you. It all comes down to your taste and what you like. These first couple of jars here are heads, and these last couple of jars are tails. Some people like heads and some people like tails. It's all up to you. But what I'm going to do is show you a process that you can figure out what it is that you like and don't like. So let's get into it. Okay, so here's the complete run from the super simple beginner mash recipe. It was a 6-gallon run, and this is what I ended up with. We tossed out the foreshots in the video of me distilling that run. If you missed it, I'll put some links or cards or something up for you. But this is the first jar after the foreshots. And every time I was ready, I put a paper towel over it and a ring. I ran this last night, so it's had 24 hours to breathe. This is important because the flavor changes if you let it breathe. And I did this all the way through the run, and I kept track of the order that it came off of the run. Now that it's had time to breathe, I can go back. I can do a little smell. I can do a little taste of each jar. These are going to have a little sharper smell and taste. They're going to include the heads, which some people like and some people don't. And then you're going to get into the hearts, and then about down here you're going to start rolling into the tails. And it's your job to check each one of these jars and figure out where in this run you decide you want to start keeping what came off the still and call the rest feints. So for example, you smelled and you taste this, and it's just too sharp, maybe too much kind of fingernail polishy, and you decide I don't want to keep that. This now becomes what's called feints. And you can take your feints and you can toss them all into one jar if you want. And there's things you can do with that later. You can make a feint run out of them. And do like a feints stripping run. There's a lot of things you can do with it, and we can get into that in other videos. But the idea is to check each jar, smell it, taste it. Do you like it? If you like it, keep it. Take all the jars that you liked, put them in one big jar, mix it up, and that's where the alcohol is that you like. Now, if you do this enough times, especially if you do it enough times with one particular recipe, you will get to the point where you can make these cuts on the fly as you're distilling it simply by smell. I think it's very important for the beginner to learn how to do this. You'll get a sense of how the run changes over time as the ABV drops. So each one of these jars has less and less alcohol in it till you get down to the bottom, where I think that last jar I did was 80 proof, maybe. It was maybe 40% alcohol, I don't remember. But this is the highest proof over here down to the lowest proof. Now I let my wife Winsong do the tasting. She's much better at picking up on very subtle differences in flavor, and so she handles that. But on the recipes that we do often, I know where she likes the cuts to be made, and we'll make them there. And if I change something in the process of the recipe or the process of the distillation, she'll tell me whether she liked it or whether she didn't, and what we should keep and what we shouldn't keep. So this is just a process for you to figure out what it is you like. You don't have to listen to people that tell you how much of the heads to throw away and how much of the tails to throw away. It's all about your flavor, because there's nothing on this table that is dangerous or will hurt you. So if you've got any questions about this process, drop them down in the comments below. Or better yet, come join us over at MeWe.com in our Moonshine for Beginners group, where we're always talking about this kind of stuff. I'll put an invitation link down in the show notes below. We'll see you next time.